Are you ready for some new consoles? Have we waited long enough? Have we been playing the 360 to PS3 long enough? I think so. And I'm sure you've heard by now that on February 20th, Sony's gonna have this big meeting, and a lot of people think that's when they're gonna announce their new console, give us details. We don't know. We're gonna find out this week what the hype is all about, but splash. Come on, Call of Duty. Come on, cuh. Not another random explosion killing me. So with these new consoles coming out, it got me thinking, how much better are they gonna be? Think of Call of Duty. Do you really think that Call of Duty is gonna be this much different game just because we're on a next-gen console? Like, what are they gonna change? Do you really see them changing the franchise? Are we gonna have destructible environments? Or is it just gonna be the same thing just with a little bit better graphics? How much are the games gonna cost? Because it seems like every console, they go up a little bit. So I think with the first Xbox and PS2, I think games used to cost either $50 or maybe $40. I don't know. I know it wasn't $60. So does that mean that with the next console, it's gonna go up to $70? Now, obviously, I'm in an interesting position since I make YouTube videos. I basically have to get the new consoles. I have to pre-order them. I'm not gonna camp and wait in line. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't got time to camp for a week so that I can get one of the first consoles. I'm gonna just pre-order it. But this has me thinking, how much better would these new consoles be over the current console that we have right now? Because when we went from the Xbox to the Xbox 360 and the PS2 to the PS3, I mean, that was a pretty nice leap. We went from standard definition gaming to high definition gaming. That's a pretty significant jump. I mean, I had to buy an HD TV because I didn't have an HD TV when I first got the 360, but since it had HD gaming, I went out and bought one, and it was a huge difference. And I didn't have a 360 at launch. I got it about a year later when NBA 2K7 came out. And the reason I got the 360 was because I originally got that game on the original Xbox. But then I found out that on the 360 version, the game was totally different. Everybody had their own jump shot, their own specific jump shot. And that wasn't possible on the original Xbox. So everybody on the Xbox version, they shot exactly the same. They all looked the same when they were taking a jumper. But then on the 360, everyone's got their own specific jumper. So I was like, whoa, I gotta get this. There were all these animations, all these things that you couldn't do on the original console. So I just had to get it. But as I'm reading about these newer consoles, it seems like we're not really gonna take that leap forward that we did from the original Xbox to the Xbox 360 or from the PS2 to the PS3. It doesn't seem like we're gonna take that leap. And it's funny because if you read about the PS4, you know, Sony, they kind of came out and said that the hardware is not their main focus for their new console. They're not really focusing on getting the best hardware out there. They just, you know, they're talking about all this other stuff. And I think that's a mistake because we're going to have these new consoles for years to come. So we need to have the best technology that we can have now, and the best hardware we can get now, because in the future it's going to be outdated and it's just going to hold the games back from making that leap. And I've read things that the games, for instance, they're still going to be 30 frames per second. I mean, obviously there's going to be more games that are 60 frames per second, but there's still going to be a lot of games that are running at 30 frames. And there is a difference. If you've ever played a game on the PC, you'll be able to see the difference between 60 frames and 30 frames. There's a huge, it's so much more smooth, fluid. It's a big deal. And then another thing is that even though we have HD gaming, a lot of these games aren't really HD. Like, I play on my TV and I record at 1080p, but these games aren't really 1080p. They're like 500p or maybe 600p, and they're just being upscaled. So these games aren't even 720p really. They're just being upscaled. So I'm thinking, okay, the new consoles, we need to actually have 1080p gaming at 60 frames per second. Another thing that's interesting is it seems like both companies, they're really focusing on these new controllers and motion sensors, Connect, and whatever they're gonna call each one. But really, I don't really know if I care about Connect, because in a lot of games, it's not really that useful. Would you be interested in playing Call of Duty with a motion controller and voice recognition? Because voice recognition is too slow. Like when you do something on a controller, you do it immediately. If you were to say, throw the grenade, I don't think that would work out as well as just pressing a button. You know, and then how are you gonna do things like drop shot? Like, let's say you're doing like some Connect stuff. Are you gonna really drop shot down on the ground? I mean, is that how gaming is gonna be? It seems like they wanna change the way we game, but maybe we don't really want that change. Could you imagine the gestures that people would make when they're gonna panic knife with motion controls? Or what if they're gonna do it by voice recognition? They're gonna be like, panic knife! Yeah, it's gonna, it would be hilarious. Imagine playing 2K trying to icon pass with a motion controller. How are you gonna icon pass? I mean, Now, another thing that's really important is cross-platform games, because yes, both consoles are gonna have exclusives, but there's not really that many exclusive games that come out on both consoles. And usually the best games are the cross-platform games. Those are the most popular, those are the games that a lot of people are gonna be playing. And in this current generation, the 360 beats the PS3 when it comes to the cross-platform games. I mean, we've seen it. Everybody's made videos about it. Even in Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a perfect example. In some of these Call of Duty games, the PS3 version has different sounds, different hitbox sounds. It has different recoil patterns. It has different graphics. Sometimes the optics are blurred. So when we go to the next generation, is PlayStation going to be in the same situation? Is the Xbox going to get the better deals? Are they going to get DLC faster? I mean, see, these are the things that I think they should be focusing on instead of, oh, let's get this motion controller. They need to make the cross-platform experience. They need to design the games specifically for each console, because the exclusive games on the PS3 work perfectly fine, but it's those cross-platform games where there's a lot of glitches and they need fixes. Are these next generation consoles overhyped?